line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again here, race fans on PTM Racing TV. We're live here today at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, for tonight's showcase main event. This is the first ever showcase of the Venom Truck Series. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader. I'm joining you guys live here tonight as we are getting set to go for our action-packed racing main event coming your way here right now. Currently, drivers are in the moments of final laps of practice. Drivers continuing to get themselves a little bit ready to go and get them set off for tonight's action here as you see our duel number 1 getting ready for takeoff. Now you are probably wondering at home, okay, how are we going to do this one tonight? Usually we do usually it's like a race and qualifying, then we get to the actual race itself. Well, I got you guys in tune. We came on a little live earlier today to give you guys a little brief rundown. Here's how we're going to play the format out. We're going to start with 2 duels. These drivers will be split apart individually. No qualifying has been done, so these drivers are going to have to go in separate locations, separate areas in their duels. They'll have to battle it out there and then get their positions via where they finish. So if you finish first, guess what? You start first on the front row of the main race itself, which is a 70-lap duel, which is a 70-lap big main event. 10 laps in the duels, and wherever you finish, it is all started from their position where they're at. Heat 1 will be the inside row, Heat 2, the outside row. As we get set to go here, we are set to now for the action here. Your final driver practices being put up for grabs, being put onto the show. Drivers preparing up and getting ready for this one. They are excited, they are thrilled, and they are ready and laying away. If this is your first time here on PTM Racing TV as well, guys, be sure to give us a little like and follow and a thumbs up if you liked what you see on the show. Throughout this, I will be reading your comments off, so feel free to chat below. I always read them off, talk to you guys. Love hearing from you. So we're just about 30 seconds away for now from the first duel of the Venom Truck Series season opener time here on PTM Racing TV. And with the laps continuing to progress through here, you can see just how rigid and rugged this track will be. It is going to be a factor and a half as we take a look at the track tech talk real quick. If you guys have never been to Daytona before, you're in for a treat. 2.5 miles in length. This is a wide open range of hard racing and hard cornering, but it's not as wide open as, say, like a Talladega or iRacing Super Speedway. In those corners, expect drivers to watch themselves entering in and exiting off with this kind of race practice, this race kind of momentum. It's going to be extremely difficult to stay out of trouble if you want to get up to the front. But that's where the best and the brightest come fully intact and alive on the track. 29 drivers have made the call. It's time to see heat number 1 to the staging area. And here's how we're going to do it. On the pole, out from Canada will be Jeremy McKinnon in that 12. His outside will be Dylan Frazier in the 38. At row number 2, Michael Dean is the 73. His outside, it's the 22, Brantley Gainey. Row number 3, it's Garrett Rainey, and the 17's outside is 88, David Fay. Row number 4 is going to be Sammy Dunaway, and then 6-7's outside, it's the 55, Paul Ellison. Row 5, we will see it piloted by the number 2, John Kay, with his outside being Tristan Underwood, and the number 90. Row number 6, we'll see Stephen Durham, and the 87 is outside the 99. That is Will Salamone. Row number 7 is Ryan Dicey, and the 15's outside. It's Kyle Zittel, and the 53. Your final starter, the 11, Michael Crowell. And if I also messed up or butchered any names, drivers, let me know after the race or let me know during the race. I will do my best to get that fixed. Believe me, I've made plenty of mistakes before on the show. I do it all the time. The first duel has now commenced. The drivers are entering to the stage. Duel number 1, grinning up to your action here on PTM Racing TV. Race fans, this is where it gets good. This is where it gets juicy around here. Multiple drivers, multiple headways, and a lot of guys looking to make an early showcase of themselves here on PTM Racing TV. And know as well as anything, they are coming from all walks of life, all different planes, as you heard earlier. Some coming from the Canadian regions here on our show once again. So a lot of heavy hitters and a lot of hard racers, to be exact, coming up through the graphs and through the reins as they get pushed into position and ready to fire them on down. We'll bring him off to the back straightaway here. Field is set to go and ready for the action here. And if you're Jeremy McKinnon right now, I gotta believe you're just thinking to yourself, I've got the starting spot, but the problem is, am I gonna be in this spot after 10 laps? It's not easy to do. It's extremely difficult to master with. We've seen drivers before get put into the rafters and put into that fence, and we've seen even more so a lot of drivers going for wild rides here on PTM Racing TV on this very, very same track. These super speedways can be a handful, and they can be a bit of a gamble. What will the drivers bring to the table? We'll fire them off down in turn number 4 here, off to that front straightaway here, awaiting our green flag start. The pace truck rings are locked and loaded. 15 drivers for duel number 1 to the stage. We bring him off the case, off the turn 4 to the front straightaway, off the tri-oval design. It's time to go racing here on PTM Racing TV. Duel number 1 is in action. McKinnon will get the jump early, but how long will that last? That will be up to him. Paul Ellison, the 55, already getting a little bit of a bump shot up there to the 88 there as he goes right for David Fay in that Ford F-150. Drivers coming down the back straightaway, though. It is a hard charge out of the gate. They're looking to try to keep it clean, keep it close, but they know when they get to the last lap, it may change in a dime. I don't know if they want to go to a 3-wide saloon just yet. It's a little early in my opinion, but again, with only 10 laps, you never know what these guys are going to do. These are brand new drivers to us, and it's a brand new territory, so we're in for a treat. You may hear a name or two in here. You may have seen before here on PTM TV, but there's not a whole lot of the drivers from the veterans age or the other leagues. There's a lot of newcomers here, and I love seeing it. One thing we always love to do here is present the brightest and the best, while also bringing you some brand new drivers to the show. McKinnon right now getting pumped around there by Michael Dean, the 73. Maybe a little too much there. Almost got taken right up to the 38 of Dylan Frazier. The Tundra almost taken for a wild little ride off down on that back straightaway. Avoids trouble. That was a close one there, but they've got to be a little bit more situated, a little bit more on the edge. They know they can't go too crazy just yet. They need to watch themselves. And with that 70-lap main event coming up too, you got to be wondering to yourself, man, how in the heck are these drivers going to be able to push, shove, and run as hard as they are right now, and then still come out with at least a clean finish or a clean truck? It's not going to be an easy call, and it's going to be a very difficult one for them. We said it before, we'll say it again, these super speedways, they are a crapshoot. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, but there's one thing is for sure, it takes skill to hold these things online, and it takes skill to run in this kind of madness and intensifying race. As you're watching right now here, still a hard charge up to the front here from the guys on the outside. The guys on the bottom trying to push and shove their way around. We're only down about 7 laps to go this next time on by. Uh-oh, look on the outside here. Looks like we might have a run coming up. Looks like there's some movement. Seeing the big 22. That's Brantley Gainey right now trying to go to the outs. No, he goes back inside. He's like, no, wait a minute. I'm not getting any run on the outside. I got to stay back here, boys. He'll back off and let these guys continue to do their thing. Tristan Underwood right now, that number 90 here, currently dealing with the middle of the pack, middle of the backpack here, trying to hang on. Guys continuously trying to push and shove their way up under the battle and into that fray here, but you can just see not a whole lot of areas to go for, not a whole lot of areas to run out from. And look at this, Garrett Rainey as well now in the 17, moving the chains up ahead of that 38. Dylan Frazier, impressive by the F-150 cams. The F-150s are currently your front runners here. Could this be a sign of things to come? We've seen the Fords do very well on the super speedways before. A lot of that has to do with that sloped front end and that unique back end and corners as well. They are really good for pushing. That's why I drive it for whenever I drive on these tracks. Then again, I'm kind of a Ford loyalist, so you guys can make fun of me in the comment section if you want for that. I don't mind. I get it all the time. 6 will go, 5 laps to go here. We're coming near the end of duel number 1. Remember, the top driver will be the inside starter on the front row. Everyone else will, where they finish, will go will go on their positioning on the inside. You don't want to be dead last, but you don't want to necessarily find yourself going into the back of the pack. Rainey still pilots up the outside. You can see McKinnon right though on the bottom, trying to hang on, trying to keep some speed underneath him. He's trying to move themselves here. The gap starting to close up. It's starting to get very tricky. But give credit too, of how close they are in the draft, how close they are in position. They are pushing and shoving pretty cleanly and not putting anything into the mess here. And for the first time this day, we see a full-on lead change. Garrett Rainey to the bottom takes full control. He's your new leader now, but can he hang on? He's got a lot of laps to go still. A lot of laps to go in that bit in this race, and a lot of laps left in the big main if we can even keep that front hood. Not shooting to the outside though, McKinnon going up top. He looks to get the Americans in his place. He wants to show that he had a good race with the best of them. Every driver for themselves here. Movement from the back to the front here. Hard Charger award going to Garrett Rainey here in 3 spots up, but he's not the ultimate Hard Charger. That will go to Kyle Zittel. 5 spots up right now, looking to try to hang on. Rainey now putting back 4 spots here as he continues to deal with pressure from the 73 and Michael Dean. Dean now pushing him back in the way and in the fray a little bit more, trying to get him ahead so he can start charging the outside as well. Fuel line right now, they're okay there. They're more worried about just trying to get to the finish. Coming up close. Whoa, down to the apron goes that 22. Brantley Gainey manages to hold it down, keep it under control. And now the speed's really being put to an ultimate test there. Look at the push from David Fay and that 38 of Dylan Frazier. A mounting charge as Jeremy McKinnon is right in it. Oh, but that's not going to help them anymore from turn 3 and 4. The big one collapses in. A huge wreck on turn 3 and 4. We've got multiple trucks in this one. That was really the whole field. They have to stay green. Drivers just need to get them refired, but what the heck happened there? Well, Garrett Rainey manages to escape with the run, but the story is the entire field nearly wrecked out. We'll go to the PTM replay while those drivers battle it out for that race lead. I can't even begin to figure out what the heck happened. Let's see if we take a look. Looks like, oh yeah, right there, the 73 gets loose, got clipped up there with a 38, and the next thing you know, it's a pile up on I-235. And that 38, my goodness, Dylan Frazier, he went for a ride and a half down there. And that truck, I'm glad he is okay, but he is saying right now, when I get in that main race, I'm going to give it to these boys. We're still green. White flag coming on out as Garrett Rainey will keep the 17 in charge and full run. He's got Jeremy McKinnon right behind him looking to steal this from him. McKinnon is going to draft off him the entire way through, and I can't blame him. Just stay to the back of him until you get to the final corner, my friend. Rainey's got to watch his slingshot. He knows the pass is coming. McKinnon trying to hold on. Oh, he's going to go to the backstretch for the slingshot. Here he goes. He's going to try to make it work. Rainey not maybe trying to play possum, hold him down. It's a drag race straight to the end here. We're under the white for the dual one. Rainey has a slight advantage on the bottom, but here comes company behind him. They're going to push right to the front here, looking for the final leg of this one. McKinnon to the outside. They'll wreck him down on the front straightaway, straight to the finish line. And Rainey will hold out McKinnon and John Kay by a matter of inches, straight to the end. Ooh, what a finish there, my friends. That was only duel number 1, too. And Garrett Rainey is going to be duel number 1 winner. And a star finish there. What a wild finish for that 17. How he was able to pull that one off is beyond me, but he has done it indeed. So he'll hold on. But you gotta wonder, John Kay and them, did they time the strategy right, or do you think maybe they're gonna go for broke here in that A main? We'll have to soon find out. Duel number 1 is coming to a close. The only other driver that finished out there was in 7th. That was Paul Ellison. That's crazy to believe, but it is the case. Here is your duel number 1 results now popping up on your screen. Garrett Rainey will take the top honors. He will start front row inside. John Kay goes 2nd, 3rd, Jeremy McKinnon, 4th to Ryan Dicey. 5th will go to Will Salamone. And that will wrap up there for heat number 1, race fans. Heat number 2 to the grid. Here's how we're going to do it. On the pole will be Nathan Reynolds in the 51s. Outside, Corey Rutherford in the number 50. In row number 2, it's going to be Mr. Flinky Roberts is outside. Jan Van Vlier in the 5. Row number 3 is going to be Cole Maxwell in the 8s. Outside, the 18 is piloted by Kyle Duhigg. Again, guys, if I mess your name up, just let me know. Andy Pollocky will be in that 32. Is outside is Paul Sargent in the 49. In row number 5, it's Kevin Sargent in the 09. Is outside Ryan Pittman in the 08. Row number 6 is going to be Pascal Simmerd in the 76. Is outside. That is Carter Jokiel in the 25. And our final stars in this one, in row 7, Jeff Langston in the 21 with the 26. That's Eric Breeding. Race fans, duel number 2 to the stage. And you gotta wonder themselves, literally, they just saw what happened there in that duel number 1 with the big pile up there in 3 and 4. You think maybe they may back off a little bit or watch themselves? You'll have to see in just a minute. If I was them, I probably would not even worry about backing off. I'd be more worried about just taking care of the truck for the A main. You got a duel ahead of you. Just make sure you stay focused and keep up with the grabs and keep up with the speeds. That's all you really have to do. Wheeling them off duel number 2, race fans. If you haven't already, get this one shared around. Show the boys some love, because we don't know what the heck we're about to witness. We just saw what duel number 1 brought to the table. Will duel number 2 bring the same excitement? We're about to find out. Green flag charges up. We're out in the action. We're back at it. doing the speed, bringing the hardwood on the track here. The drivers now putting these big tons of trucks right on display. And if I was that flinky number 3 Roberts here, I'd be a little careful. Hey, the Glitchcraft Gremlin on the attack. He'll back off, let these guys race it out with no worry or troublesome. Good respect and sportsmanship from him. No, that's not us blinking him in and out or trying to push a little button like I got a button around here. Even though I've got a couple buttons down there on my rig here, I do not have any buttons down here in the broadcast booth to literally just switch that truck in and out, make it look like a cartoon show. No, he's got an actual problem down there, and that Glitchcrafted Gremlins is what we refer to him when he has some net code or he has, unfortunately, a bad connection to the track. So if you're new to the show and wondering why did I say Glitchcrafted Gremlins or what does that even mean, that's what it means. Speaking of what it means right now, I don't know what these drivers are thinking, but I know what they're really means is they're trying to go for broke already, coming down off turn number 2. You're seeing a huge charge from the bottom and the outside as guys start to really move the chains on in, start to really make a run for it here. Going up top there, a little bit loose goes Kyle Doomhig there. Doomhig there looked like he might have had a little bit of a trouble in that Toyota Tundra. Oh, speaking of trouble, look out for that 50, Corey Rutford. And the Kellogg's 50 gets sent packing around off of turn number 4 here. A huge little spin off. Absolutely wild there. I didn't even know what the heck happened until it already kind of happened. Let's take a look at the replay. I think he might have got clipped up a little too much by that number 8. The number 8 of Cole Maxwell might have got it. Yeah, you see right there, you see he got it way too wide off of turn number 4. And the 8 of Cole Maxwell had nowhere to go and ended up taking him for the old spin and run. And speaking of spin and run, I think we might have problems down there, boys. We got a wreck. While we were on the replay here, let's take a look at this, see what happened exactly. Okay, right off that corner down on that front straightaway, you can see drivers correcting out completely. I believe that might have been, couldn't get a number on that one there. Looks like it might have been a couple of them involved, but I believe that was Jeff Langston that got sent packing around and then that big wreck. We're trying to get back up the field, guys. We're trying to get back with this duel number 2, but the chaos is just everywhere here. We've got 7 now, 6 to go. When they get back to the green flag here on the checkers stage, Duel 2 definitely a little bit more wild than Duel number 1 when it comes to the wrecking part of things. But I think that's going to really set these guys up a little bit better for that A main coming up, the big one. The 70-lap main event coming up. I tell you what though, man, a lot of these guys are probably not too thrilled and too happy that they've been put into a bad spot early on. Now they know they're going to have to try to race it out in the big one. Jan Van Leer right now working right behind Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds trying to keep a good distance, trying to keep himself a little bit more occupied on the track as hand. As we go on board here with the monster juice that is Kyle Doomig there in the 18 Toyota Tundra. I haven't seen too many Tundras really make a run for it here out of the gate, but looks like he might be starting to push his grasp a little bit more, a little bit harder on the track, maybe trying to find some openings here. 5 to go. Out of bounds right now. These guys had to wait till that last lap. Don't worry about trying to make any slingshot passes right now because it's going to be extremely difficult to get it going when you got guys that may be trying to punch your way ahead of them. And the McNair is even worse here. Carter, Joe Keel, and Kevin Sargent, they are right behind him as well when it comes to terms of speed. So if they make any mistakes or make any big moves, those two drivers will get right back on their tail. And Joe Keel and Sargent right now working together here, trying to punch the draft up as much as they can. You can see a lot of pushing and shoving back behind the field. And there is one really good thing about these trucks is because that flat rear end there back in the bumpers, they can actually bump draft quite well with them. But there is one little caveat. If you don't have the right lineup there and the right set of drivers, those front bumpers actually don't exactly line up perfectly with the rear bumper, making for some extremely difficult timing in. not quite a full-on tangent draft, although you can definitely make the argument it is a tangent draft, but I mean, when you're hitting up speeds of upwards of over 190 miles per hour, some guys getting top speeds at 195, 192. I mean, that is absolutely blistering with a truck like this, because usually these things have a hard time kind of getting up into the 180s or 190s as it is on the normal tracks. The 550 horsepower packages these things have at their disposal and at their keeps is what makes them so difficult and so hard to master and configure on a late run and on the long runs. Those that have tested this, that stand the test of time, and those that can figure it out late in the race, they will be the ones to keep your eye on. Laps left to go now. Drivers moving their way up the chains, onto the fight, into the fray here. Currently digging down, digging inside, trying to find one last little leg up on these boys. You see the 18 Kyle Dumick right now trying to make a big move to the charge outside, but he gets blocked by Reynolds. Reynolds just shoots it right up to the top and says, hey, wait a minute, you want that line? Well, no, too late. I'm already up here, kid. Moves up the outside. Jan Van Leer moving straight on the bottom lane. The 5 getting a push there from the 8. Cole Maxwell. Both drivers now in a tandem draft here looking for the final legs. Well, the bad news though for Sargent and Jokiel is that their run they were building up and their chances to get to it are now coming slim to none here. Remember, the A main is coming up your way here in just a moment, race fans, so do not tune out. Don't go anywhere just yet. And we've got one more flag to go. White flag high in the air right now here. We've got one set left for the duel number 2. Van Leer straight on the bottom. And you can see the block there from Reynolds. Reynolds could not get back down there. Dumick right now moving back further. He's looking for the slingshot maneuver, but you can see Cole Maxwell as well right in that mix. Reynolds going back topside, trying to make one more push, one more charge up. Dumick is literally just laying him wait, looking for the slingshot, trying to set him up. He's going to get a good charge coming off turn number 4, but does he have enough to take this one home? Coming straight for the end. A little tag there, back on the 5. Van Leer a little bit loose and around on the front stretch, straight to the finish. And Reynolds will hold off, getting this one in his grasp. He will win duel number 2. A late block, late strategy, and late maneuvering there by Reynolds is what gets the 51 duel number 2 here in a big spot on the top of the leaderboards. He will have his hands full, though, as these drivers are not going to make it easy for him, and I would not think anything else for him. He knows what he's got at stake, and he knows what he's got on the line. He's going to go for it all. Alright, race fans, we're currently under the warm-up stage right now here at Daytona International Speedway, so we'll go ahead and take a look at our Heat 2 results now, popping up on your screen. Or, excuse me, the Duel 2, not Heat 2. It says Heat 2 results, but it's Duel number 2, guys, just for the record. Nathan Reynolds wins this one. Second will go to Kyle Dumick. Cole Maxwell will go third. Jan Van Leer will go fourth, and fifth to Kevin Sargent. Rounds out your top 5 in that duel, but now these guys are looking at something just as important, just as big right now as we get ready for warm-up staging here of our race tonight. The boys will go ahead and head them on down to the track here. We have about 4 minutes on the warm-up time, so if you guys need to, go ahead and get yourself a drink, go get some coffee, go get some popcorn, a sandwich, get some alligator legs or some tail down here. I don't know. What do we got down here in Florida again, producers? Oh, we got alligator, right? Yeah, we got alligator. We got the ocean. We got some good fish down there, good seafood. I mean, I'm from Iowa, though. Do we have any big juicy steaks and some pork chops and all that? Oh, they do. Oh, they're just not serving them here? Ah, all right, fine. We got some hot dogs at least? Like Martinsville? No, I gotta wait till Martinsville? Alright, whatever. So I guess go get some food and drinks either way, guys, and get yourself squared away. We'll be right back with you here in just a little bit. So we'll go a little silent for now, but let's let the drivers kind of run around the track here and get warm-ups cleared up. We'll see you back in just a moment. Alright, race fans, thanks for waiting up there for me here right now. We're about 20 seconds left here on the track now. The drivers are getting ready for the final leg stages here, the final practice session to be confirmed up on the track here as we prepare for you the showcase tonight of the Venom Truck Series. Their season opener has been something as tonight. It's been a bit wild, it's been a bit crazy, but now the drivers are about to get it to a whole another level. It is time for their 70-lap main event. And here's how we're gonna do it. Let's set the tone, set the field, drivers preparing for it all. You see who win their heats, you see who gets the top spot. Garrett Rainey in the 17 starts front row. And Nathan Reynolds will start is outside. In row number 2, it's going to be John Kay, and the 2 is outside Kyle Dumick. Row number 3 is going to be Jeremy McKinson, and the 12 is outside the 8, Cole Maxwell. Row number 4 is Ryan Dicey, and the 15, the 5, Jan Van Leer. Row number 5 is Will Salamone, and the 99 is outside 09, Rick Sargent. Row number 6 is Tristan Underwood, and the 90 is outside. It is the 25, Cartier Joe Giel. And row number 7 is going to be Paul Ellison, and the 55 is outside the 3 is Flinky Roberts. Row number 8 is going to be Michael Dean, the 73. The 50 is Corey Rufford. Row number 9 is going to be Sammy Dunaway, and the 6-7 is outside. The 26 is Eric Breeding. Row number 10 is going to be piloted down by Stephen Durham in the 87 with Pascal Simmerd in the 76. Row number 11, David Fay in the 88 is outside. Paul Sargent in the 49 with Zillan Frazier in the 38 with Jeff. And then row number outside of him is going to be Jeff Langston in the 21. Then finally, row number, I think I might have lost count here, guys. I'm sorry. Row number 13 is going to be Michael Crowell, and the 11 is outside Andy Policki in the 32. Row number 14 is going to be Brantley Gainey in the 22, and then Ryan Pippen in the 08. And finally, Kyle Zittel will be piloting down in the 53. Race fans, it's time at last. It's time to get down to business here in Daytona. The Venom Truck Series make their television debut here on PTM Racing TV. And the action is now ready to kick off at Daytona Beach, Florida's Daytona International Speedway. The time has come at last, race fans. We're here at Daytona. It's time to start the season off. We're racing here now. Off the start here, some drivers already kind of faltering way back in the pack here, trying to stay out of trouble early. They know this 70 lap A main event's going to be very challenging and technical for their end of their driving styles. They're going to have to be very clear cut on what they want to do and where they want to play it out at. Momentum will bolster, the momentum will strive. Every driver needs to find a leg up and find a way to conquer around this place. They need to stay focused. Through the first lap, no problem at all. I don't expect too much craziness out of the gate here. I expect these guys to be a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more slowed in, considering what they saw in the duels and what they had to go through just to even get here. But again, I've been very, very wrong before, so who knows. Blinky Roberts, though, has already had to go into pit road. He is currently being told that he is still having too many glitchcraft and gremlins down there. We'll have to settle, sadly, for really the bottom range of this first race, and this is not the track that you wanted to miss out on. The most historic of stock car racing tracks in all of North America, and really point blank the entire world itself. The history that this place has brought to the landscape of our motorsport careers and our motorsport world is far beyond what we even realize. It may not be the track that started NASCAR, but it certainly is a historical track in all of NASCAR and motorsports for the fact of what is created and what its legacy lives up to. Field moving their way down across the plains, down across the trackside here. The 51 here, Nathan Reynolds moving up terribly there with Kyle Dumick there. I'm pretty sure it's saying Dumick. If I am completely wrong, Kyle, please come after me and please let me know, my friend. I will gladly and obligingly fix that so I do not make that mistake anymore. Reynolds in his heat, Reynolds in his duel, managing to put up a fight and put on a show, taking everybody to the limit, taking everyone to the wire, proving he can handle this and he can handle this momentum these guys are going to bring at him. The field strengthening their way around. Charge taking on everything they can. A lot of openings, a lot of leadways here from everybody, but still no one giving out yet. Ryan Dicey, the number 15, currently right behind there of that number 12, Jeremy McKinnon, who went for all of it and got none of it in duel number 1. He was pretty much a good leader for a good time, but just kind of fell back behind, kind of fell into the worst end of the worst luck, if you will, late into that run, and he definitely was feeling it. Things are calm right now, but again, that changes so quickly here on PTM Racing TV, it's not even really funny, to be honest with you. Well, I've been seeing a lot of hard charge and a lot of hard racing, so how about this, race fans? Let's crank it up here in PTM Racing TV. Let's let the drivers do the talking and let them roar across. It's cranking it up here. To crank it up around these parts of town. You know you got to do a little bit, but when you hear the roar of these bad boys bringing that over 550 horsepower engine V8s right around this track. Still scooting their way on around the place here, looking for some openings, looking for some charges here at Daytona. Still, no one has been able to get a full grasp of this track and really get a full grasp of the playing field. They've been hanging on and really charging up as much as they can, but they are still in a bit of a disadvantage here if you're in the mid-pack of the area, far out outhouse. Remember though, fuel, tires, and all that are going to play a huge key role here, without a shadow of a doubt. When you look at how the way this plays out and the way this kind of comes into perspective, every driver right now is on a limited amount of speed and a limited amount of pace. They have 100% fuel limit and they have only 3 tire changes. But again, that doesn't translate to a full-length run. It only gives them so much time out on the track here, so if they want to run hard, they want to run quick, they've got to be careful down there. They need to stay focused on the overall picture. Will Salamone in the 99 going down to the bottom end here, getting out of trouble, trying to stay away from getting put into more of a mess. He feels like he's not going to be clear where he's at in that mid-pack. Goes to the outside and lets everyone else fight their way around the track for the moment here as we continue to see everybody looking for openings, looking for angles they can get around. As Garrett Rainey still holds the race lead for now anyway. And right now, I'm that race leader too. Honestly, it's one of the things I hate about and I love about Daytona and Talladega is that when you're in the race lead, you pretty much feel like you're on top of the mountain, but the problem is you don't feel like you're on top of the mountain for very long if you got anybody behind you or beside you for one good reason. This track, this surface, and this playing field literally is an equalizer as much as it is a complete 180 of the race and a fight off for the positions and driving styles. Constant write-ups and writing the script here. Everyone currently trying to find some kind of little angle, trying to find some little momentum booster, if you will. You say I've seen earlier on too, a lot of drivers, they're getting really loose off some of these corners and getting a little bit looser than usual with these Gander Outdoor Truck Series. A lot of that has to do with just, again, the way the pack is pacing, the way the drivers are driving around here right now. They're very controlled and substantially in the right frame-of-mind sequence. But along with the right race, they still find themselves in a very, very tough environment. But they knew going into this race too that patience was going to be their biggest issue. They knew they were going to have to be a little bit more weary. Not tire wear, obviously. They can pretty much just keep the whole tires on the longest they want, if you will. But the fuel run and everything else that comes into play is so darn tricky for anybody out there. Back on board here with the idiot David Fay right now. Currently, as you can see, the 09 of Kevin Sargent right down the lower right hand of your screen here. Sargent started back here in the 11th spot, excuse me, the 10th slot, moving down to the 13th. Right now to Michael Crowell there in the 11. He's currently 11 spots up. Started back 25th. He's a hard charger. Stephen Durham, though, not too far behind with 10 up. Looks like he might go for 11 as well. Brandon Gainey, the 22, going 11 up now as well. So every driver is starting to move the chains and dictate their run. In our chat today, Ashley Fraser saying, "Let's go Fraser," down in the comment section here. And she's rooting on for that 38 right now of Dylan Fraser, if I remember right. Yeah, there he is right now, Dylan Fraser right here, the 38 Toyota Tundra, trying to move the chains back on in. Remember earlier on, he started way back in the pack there due to that massive, massive pileup on the final 2 laps there in turn 3 and 4, the same corner. He told me before he got back out on the track, he said, "I'm going to get that truck a whole new listing and a whole new roundup. I'm hoping I can play it safe. I can start really making some moves and some charges here." These guys are really pushing my luck, though, that's for sure. Well, they're pushing his luck then. Right now, I'd like to see what kind of luck he's got. Honestly, it's a lot better than what I usually do when I run these kind of tracks. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love plate tracks. I love racing them as much as I love fighting on them. They can be a very tactical blend of consistency and push, the hard charging of momentum that you feel underneath the hood, but also, and again with this fuel run and this tire wear, the fuel run is so darn critical and crucial to everything these guys do and everything they bring to the table. It's a whole laundry list of momentum and control out on the track, and only the best and the brightest can continue to dabble in that and hang on with it. Down across the front straightaway here still, though, it is a 17 Garrett Rainey right now, race leading out with the 51 and Nathan Reynolds on the outside. The 2 of Sean Kay here trying to put the Dairy Queen F-150 into the round, into the fight. Remember Kay earlier, he started back in 3rd. He's looking to try and make a little bit of a straight shot here back into the fray with those guys. Looks like a little bit of movement back in the pack here as guys are currently either following back or guys are going straight for the front. You see the 50, Corey Rutherford, man, talk about a wild ride he suffered there earlier on. Whoa! Wild ride, I had to open my big fat mouth. Looks like one driver nearly went for a ride and a half there. Couldn't get a number on that one. I think it might have been the 53. Yeah, that's Kyle Zettel. That Razor 53 Toyota Tundra, man, he got hit, but he's okay. He's still on the track. He's still on the move as everyone else charges their way around off of turn number 4. 146, F-150 currently moving his way right behind with that SP Designs number 18, Kyle Dumick. And you can just see there's a lot of tasting here that goes in with this kind of race because you have to watch your throttle rhythm first off, then you have to watch yourself on that haul, and then you find yourself in a situation like this. It's like, what do? Do you try to just stay in the draft and make sure you're lined up, or do you try to push and shove to get that truck a little extra boost and kick to get up to the front? But with the amount of laps they still have left to go, we're not even halfway done with this. So obviously, really, you're going to see a lot more patience and a little bit more execution. As you see now, the 12 making execution to the top front. He wants to get around Garrett Rainey, maybe some payback for earlier today. The sun faded off down in the distance here at Daytona Beach here. It's starting to look very cloudy and very night skies here. Moving up the chains, the outside line. Look out for Colin there. Great speeds and some good momentum there on McKinnon. But again, still falling way behind pace and way behind track. Tristan Underwood, though, 2 spots up, started back in the 11th. He's now in 9th, and he is keeping it his distance. He's keeping a chance with it. And the number 87 falls right in line with him. At South Point Casino 87 here at Durham right now, looking, trying to maybe make a move up. Oh, looks like charge on the outside. Underwood's going to go up top there with the boys. Well, 20 laps in, so far we've only lost 3 drivers, not by wrecks or anything, but just unfortunate circumstances where they're involved in Bushcraft and Gremlins to attack. Out, Flinky Roberts out as well. Wilson Lamone way off pace, way off control. He'll be a lap down in a minute if he's not careful, and that's exactly what these drivers are expecting to do. And remember, this is only the first of our weekly racing series we'll see from these drivers. The next time you see them will be at Dover International Speedway on the 1st of June, and then we'll come back on June 7th. Well, they're going to visit. I said earlier, I'm an Iowa boy. I'm from Iowa. Well, they're going to my home track, Iowa Speedway. Will be the next one up on the list. Guys starting to move and squirrel and swing their way around here. Everybody looking for an opening, looking for a position or two to fight up with. And right now, Rainey, I mean, give credit where credit's due. He's using a lot of that help in the back, but he's also using a lot of maneuvering and scantering around here, just trying to avoid anybody that could fight him in a very, very tough little ordeal. little bit of a move up top side. Looks like McKinnon now starting to make a bit of a run there, looking for some area, looking for some room. Got something going back in the field here. Eric Breeding as well, starting to get some ground clearance on these guys, trying to make a little bit of a comeuppance. And lap traffic is now going to start to play a factor. Will Solomon is going to be a very big target out on his end here. Well, right now, man, I would just try to stay where the boys tell you to stay, or go to that bottom as soon as possible. Get out of the way if you can. You'll stay to the bottom. The boys will go up top side. Rainey and Kay will follow the suit. And this is the first time lap traffic has intervened on these boys. It looks like everyone's going to make it clear so far. Solomon, though, forcing one to go 3 wide. Saloon there on the front straightaway. He's trying not to get in the way, but the problem is there's just not a lot of breathing room compared to Talladega. At least you have some open space down there. This is the complete opposite. And it looks like Dumont is gonna, or excuse me, yeah, Dumig is gonna be put into a very bad little spot there. And I think they're all now having to hook up the choo-choo Talladega Daytona draft train here on the show, because now everyone is drafting. They are setting the train up, and the train is rocking and rolling to the station. A little bit of a move up to the bottom here. Look at this. Garrett Rainey forced topside. John Kay down to the bottom, and now it's time for the DQ Ford F-150 to take full control. John Kay is your new leader. Still not halfway done with this one yet, though. He's the first of our new leaders today. Garrett Rainey had the race lead for upwards of over 26 laps here. And really, when you look at it, that's a pretty darn impressive little spot to be put into. Knowing you had that many laps led and that many positions in your grasp and in your line, that's pretty darn impressive. 15 spots up, Eric Breeding right now. He is the hard charger of the award recipient right now. He's looking to try to secure that by simply pulling up the win. But he's got some heavy competition coming up there with Stephen Durham in the 87, and even the number 88 at David Fay, and Michael Crow, who's actually 14 spots up, still hanging in there in the 11. Trying to make a little bit of a move on, trying to make a little bit of a jump up into the pace. We go on board here, though, with Kyle Zittle for a moment. Boy, you listen to that throttle rhythm there. Zittle, you hear him off pace, off and on. And again, a lot of it just has to do with the fact they're trying to conserve fuel while also make sure they're ready for the big move coming up here. Here we go to pit road. Oh, a little trouble. Hold on. Drivers all over the place. And it looks like that 49 there, that was Paul Sargent. Got it clipped in a little bit. Manages to save this truck at least somewhat, but not without having a little bit of a problem down there. And Andy Paulicki, even the 5032 gets a good chunk there from one of the drivers. Got spun on around. Needs to hurry up, get into pits, and get that truck fixed a little bit. John Kay will remain your race leader. Well, we were wondering how long that pit stop was going to take, and they got him 26 laps in, which means if you do the math, that's at least another pit stop they have to take. But when will they decide to take it? That's up to them. If I was them, though, I'd be very, very careful. Fuel, run, and off we go. Back onto the front. That's what these drivers are up to here. Some, though, will have to get some damage fixed up if they want anything to deal with possibly having any speed and avoiding trouble down there. 55, Paul Ellison going to go topside stand on Randy Today's way. We're nearly halfway done with this race, and so far, if you compare it to the duels, it's been a lot cleaner and a lot more subtle. Well, oh, except for one thing, and that was literally pit road about, what was it, about 2 minutes ago now? That got a little bit interesting, but thankfully all those involved are back on the lead position and back out on the track. Well, except for Andy Palicki there in Will Salamone now, and Ellison going to even be put back out of the grass here. So I guess I can't say that they got away cleanly out of it. Speaking of that pack here, there is where the rest of the pack is. They're coming up fast. They're pushing a little bit. Looks like that 38, Dylan Frazier, isn't too happy with some of these boys. So he went for a run on the outside to take that position over from Kevin Sargent. But the Sergeant says, no, sir. I will lead my troops and lead them across the battlefields. I am the one that holds the reins. He's the one that holds the power. He may not be the man of the hour, but he definitely is leading a troop down there. That is for certain. 49 there, you see Paul Sargent. Remember, he got spun out there coming into pit road and working with his family member and teammate Kevin Sargent. I gotta believe going to help him out as well. Quite a few drivers there to avoid trouble, try to avoid any missed opportunities here. Everyone currently fighting up and fighting in hard here, if you will. Michael Crowell now is in the 11. He is currently second place now, actually looking for the race lead. How the heck he got to the lead is beyond me, but the 11 is now in a full opportunity chance to knock down John Day. Okay, drafting though hard with the number 32 of Andy Palicki. As the boys head down to pit road, Crowell will stay on out. A whole laundry list of drivers going into pit road way later than some other guys did. They will go upwards of nearly the end of that pack here, so this is getting interesting. Jan Van Leer here right now on the 5, getting some help from Cole Maxwell, Bradley Graney, and Michael Dean, the 73. Everyone trying to get back into the pack, trying to get back into a position to take over control. Right now, literally, he's got to be thinking he's on cloud 9 the way he's at here. He's currently drafting with lap traffic and actually keeping his speed intact from possibly losing the momentum and losing control here. This is exactly what he wants to see and what he wants to bring at his disposal. And as I say that, though, he has got some company right behind him here. Jan Van Leer now moving right up to him, looking to possibly make this just a little bit more interesting. Moving the chains back up into position now, moving the chains back into the fight. We are now, at long last, at the halfway point, and it looks like Crowell, Van Leer, Maxwell, Graney, and Dean will have to admit defeat and go into pit road. Jeremy McKinnon and that 21, Jeff Langston, they are currently now moving into the spot, moving into the fray here. And Jan Van Leer having had some problems down there in pit road. Same thing we saw earlier. But the problem, though, for those two guys I just mentioned, McKinnon and Langston, they've got a monster amount of draft-trained drivers coming for them. And speaking of draining up the speeds here, Dylan Frazier, the 38, hard maneuvering there off that corner, turn number 3 and 4. Got a great burst of speed around the Sarge. The Sarges right now are currently a little bit in trouble as Kevin Sargent right now passed up by Frazier. The rest of their field coming up through the ranks, coming up through the banks. Popping them up on the outside here, everybody moving the chains on in, and we are getting one step closer to the end of it all. past the halfway marker right now. McKinnon and Langston currently still your race leaders by a pretty wild margin, if you say the least here. McKinnon currently getting a lot of help from Langston here, continuing to push ahead as you see Frazier and Sargent moving our cameras back down to the back here, trying to get up to him, trying to get something going to it, but they still have yet to be able to find that little burst of speed, a little extra boost of kick. Meanwhile, the guys that were way back there came into pit road really late into this game plan here, have now commenced a little bit of a draft train of their own. They're coming up closer into the field. Michael Proud somehow managing to get back up there with him there to end. Van Leer, though, in the 5 left high and dry. And this is not looking good for him and his crew. You can see that huge distance spread apart between him and Crowd. It's a wide open range here, and it's a wide open gap for these guys. Let's take a look at our lap times here and show you the distance here between these guys. Langston and Frazier, you can see just how much drafting, push, and shove can help you out here, and if you have enough drivers, it can give you a long ways. But that lap, well, that is not good by any means. That's a 5/10 of a second difference. Langston is using the 12 of McKinson to full possibility and full capabilities here. If they keep seeing that, honestly, it looks like that dynamic draft train by those two may be the end of it all. Starting to bridge the gap off, though. Looks like that gap I talked about earlier may have gotten thrown out the window here. Yeah, it's definitely now going a little bit closer. I don't know if they got a rate. I don't know if they're listening to me down on the call list. Maybe they're actually watching their relative race here, but they definitely know they were getting put back in the spot. Maybe they're setting up that big push, that big run coming through on the edges, on the corners here. It's always a last-minute dash here on PTM Racing TV when you're going for something here. Lap traffic still factoring in on a lot of these guys and making things extremely difficult. Whoa, hold on a minute though. You see Dumig there, he almost got way low, too low, a little bit closer than he should have been with that 49 of Paul Sargent. Not sure, maybe he's trying to get to the bottom of what he was up to. These trucks are getting extremely loose on these straights and on these exits, and a lot of it has to do with they're having to deal with. They're hitting speeds upwards of 195 miles per hour, point blank. I've seen trucks here go over 200 miles per hour in this very same track and this very same facility. It doesn't happen often, but believe me, when it does, it's a scary, scary thought to just what they'll do next. Will Burgess saying, "Coke on, John." Pretty sure he means come on, Josh Maxwell a lap behind. He said coke on though. I'm pretty sure he meant come on. Yeah, unfortunately Maxwell way back behind the field here. Not Josh though, it's Cole Maxwell we have on our call here. The 8 here falling further and further into the route here. I think he's trying to use a bit of now the drivers have caught up to our race leaders, McKinnon and Gert and Frazier there. Langston and them right now trying to hold off. Frazier going top side, down to the bottom, leaves everyone high and dry, and McKinnon nowhere to go, has to pretty much now have to deal with him, and you can see the gap between those two there. My goodness, that is not a gap you can put a ruler in, and I mean not a 12-inch ruler. I'm talking a 6-inch ruler. That is way that is way too close for my liking if I was in that truck right now. But that's what these drivers are all about, and that's the madness they bring to the table. Well, you can see the power and the speed these drivers are bringing to the table here, and they're still not down and out just yet. We're coming closer and closer to the end game of it all. And what a day it has been, race fans. Here we saw the madness of the duels. We saw the hard charging of the drivers late into the run, late into the day. You saw a lot of chaos in between, and really, it was just complete and utter madness here. And what a fun time it was. Popping up down on the closing lap still. We'll see about 26 laps left to go here in just a minute as Frazier continues to move the chains ahead here with Kinnan right behind him. 87 of Stephen Durham though now looking to put the South Point Casino Chevrolet into the battle into the fray here. The Silverados are not done with those F-150s, nor are they done with those Tundras right now. They're giving them something to think about and a lot to really go off here. Again, race fans, if you are new to our channel, you are new to our show, feel free to like and follow us here on Facebook. If you missed the show, when you watch this on the replay here, and you're probably watching it, so if you're watching it there, please subscribe here as well to get some live action, live coverage here that you will see throughout our weeks and throughout our time period. We always have a few races that go live exclusively on the YouTube side of things. We certainly appreciate you guys tuning in and watching it down on the track here as we're currently finishing up tonight's race in action here at Daytona International Speedway at the Venom Truck Series season opener. And yeah, 29 drivers making the call, making the field. I don't even know what the heck they're going to expect or what they're even thinking when they get to Dover. Because Dover International Speedway is a madness-based track in its own right, and it will make things very, very interesting late in and late out as you can see more drivers just continuously pedal up. This is some pedal to metal action right here, my friends. Lindsey Gainey saying go 22 right now. A little love down there for Brantley Gainey here as the Toyota Tundra is 22 spots up. Dylan Frazier also 22 spots up. Both equaling the max amount of hard charger points so far. But Brantley can get a few more up on these boys if he can just make a run for it up on the top end to the bottom end now. Honestly, one thing I'm kind of surprised too, we haven't seen a whole lot of 3-wide action here. This is relatively calm and tame for these drivers. I know that we've talked about it before and that it's not a good idea doing it this late, but when you get a little bit later in the run, that could change it. .24 now switches to 23 laps remaining, and now you just start to kind of linger in the back of your mind when these guys go, when is it going to start to turn into a dash with a pack. I do apologize for the show. You know, so many cars on the track, there's a lot of coverage going on, and we usually don't have as many trucks on the gridding. Or usually cars in general too, so I do apologize in advance for that. But don't worry, this is not the last time you see that. Let's push up here and slow this down a little bit. Oh, speaking of a little bit of troubles, look back behind, and it looks like Rainey getting sent back a little bit. Looks like problems down there for Jan Van Leer. Looked like he was trying to come back up on the track here and trying to stay out of the way of being in problem territory, but wasn't expecting everyone to come up so quick. Drivers had to do evasive action to get out of there, and they did indeed, but Frazier and McKinnon still able to sneak their way on by. By the way, how on earth has Dylan Frazier been able to hold that race lead down and keep everyone back behind him for as long as he has? I'll give him credit where credit's due. He's doing a great job down there, but that's pretty wild to say the least. He's been able to do it for this long in this race. Coming up through the rounds, coming up through the ranks here. Drivers right now in a hot pursuit and a hot battle here. Still trying to hang on. It's getting late into this race, getting late into the night here at Daytona Beach, Florida. The fans and young and old have stuck around, though. They want to see this race play out to the very end. And look at this, right in the mix of the pack. Well, Miss Lindsay, I hope you're still watching, because your boy has got some help. He's got something coming for him. He's got the aid of Cole Maxwell up on the outside, banking him up and trying to tandem draft his way into the fray. Drivers heading the inside pit roads here. Pit stops now being put up again. We forgot all about that. I didn't even realize we were going to have to go into pit road this late. McKinnon will get in first, but did he get a speeding penalty for going in as quick as he did? Oh, trouble! Trouble! The 22, Bradley Gady! My word, what a save! What a save! That truck was gone and loose, but he saves it entering a turn one. He goes into the grassy plains up his own lawn care service. But as I was giving him a little bit of love and praisal, unfortunately, the broadcaster curse got the better of him. One more look at it. Looks like he got clipped by the 8 there. Looked like he had it set. Look at that, though. He was completely sideways. Boy, howdy, how he was able to get that truck to even square back up into position is beyond me. That was literally no man's land for any driver. One last look at it. Here's the hit. You see, he's trying to get back on the lead lap, and he takes Frazier. But look at this. Truck's gone. And almost as naturally and calmly as you can be in a truck for where he was at. He did not hold back getting that thing squared up. He was squared back away as soon as he was lost. Pit stops have been made now. Lace France here currently. You saw Frazier, Dunaway, and Ray. They went into pit road, so now they will engage with the rest of the field, trying to keep them spots up. A last minute dash though late in the race here for the guys that went in really later. The latest lap I'm seeing that they went in was about lap number 34. And that was right now your race leader, Michael Crowell, in the number 11. Unless he's able to kind of pump the gas a little bit and get some more fuel into those headers and into that engine, there is no way he's going to be able to last out and finish the race where he's at. This is going to be a very tall order and a very tall deal for him. He needs to stay focused. If I was him, I would probably, if anything, maybe stay in the back a little bit. Go back there. Don't let the draft be the factor that continues to mess your run up. Being in the race lead's one thing, but knowing you have a chance, a golden opportunity to make it big and make it broke. That is the situation here. Cherry Bullet coming on board saying, way to go, 73 down there. Yeah, right now that is Michael Dean in the 73 that she's talking about. Holds the 11 spots up. A hard charger, but not the ultimate hard charger. But he is currently back from 15th, moving into the 4th slot and trying to hang in there with the rest of this crew. Steven Durham and Michael Krause still now in a little bit of a dogfight there for the race lead. And the pack starts to get a little bit further inward. Meanwhile, very, very far back in the pack here, the rest of your boys that went into pit road are trying now to draft and get up there with the rest of the field. Crucial timing and expertise being put on the line here for these guys. Sam Dunaway, the 67, is going to get put a lap down, unfortunately. Eric Breeding right now trying to hang in there with the 15 of Ryan Dicey right behind him. Field right now is getting one leg up. The boys that were back behind the field, back behind the track here and onto the stage, but this is where really, in my opinion, start making some moves and maybe start making some opportunities and chances here, because the pit strategies aren't going to save you from those cautions, and they're not going to save you from the madness that could start up anytime soon. I said a minute ago, I was thinking that Brantley Graney was going to be able to actually make a bit of a charge here, make a bit of a long distance battle here, but ended up getting spun around and got clipped down. Now he's right behind. I think that might be Langston there in the number 21. No, it's... Is that the 12? Yeah, it's the 12. Jeremy McKinnon. Whoa, what the heck happened to Jeremy McKinnon? The number 12 was literally right in the pack and into the top spot. And now Daytona deals him a bad hand as well. So two very unlucky combatants putting out in the middle of the outhouse. What a tough break for both drivers there. You would not have thought of anything. That would have been how this one came through. He got very good introverted in the duels. He started very well there from the finish. He started extremely well in the first thirds of this race. I guess the final leg of the third did not quite go his way, I suppose. What a tough break though for him, man. You gotta feel for him a little bit. Same thing for Graney. He just got a really bad hand dealt when him and the 8 unfortunately collided down on him. And these guys, man, they just will not give an inch. They will not give up whatsoever. And we're just down to the final 13 laps. When we get to the final 5, the final 5 will be presented on your screen here. We'll have top 5 in the moment, in the time being. Well, you know, Sam Dunaway maybe a lap down, but he seems to not be too phased off by these guys behind him. If anything, maybe he's just worried. Maybe he's just worried about hoping for a break or hoping for a bit of a chance here. He knows he's got a truck underneath him that can work, and he knows he's got something that can do good for him. But sad part is he still has yet to get an opportunity to strike while the iron is hot. Final legs now popping up, and remember the drivers that went into pit road really later on that were about 31, 34, they are playing on a very, very thin tightrope. They're hoping the fuel run will last out long enough, but in my opinion, it's not going to, unless all of a sudden, before they were getting very closer up in the packs, they were actually able to let off the throttle and give them multiple laps with about a half throttle, about a 3/4 throttle rhythm limit. Going full throttle at these speeds and these kind of levels, the fuel just gets torn down and really burns in so quickly, and they know it. They have it in their back of their minds. So pretty much right now, if they have to go into pit road, they got one thing that's going to be their chance. They got to get in and just take only the minimum amount of fuel. I think these guys up front right now are really desperate for a caution, but they have not gotten it all day, and I don't think it's going to happen now. They're going to put them up on the final laps, and that's where it's going to really make things interesting. We have 10 laps to go. And I wondered, and I questioned earlier, with the final 10 laps, how was it going to play for these boys, and how would it fare for the guys in the back right now? Kyle Zittel in the number 53 is leading the charge and leading the pack up with them, while the sergeants, Paul and Kevin, are with him. Jeff Langston, the 21, also in there. Paul Allison in the 55 right now, maybe having a little bit of help there with him and Andy Balicki. So much to refrain from, so much to really stay out of trouble from, and they know all too well. Corey Rufford earlier, you saw him literally go for a wild ride there in that duel number 2, but now he's currently having a chance in a lifetime to get this one finished up. Michael Crowell and Stephen Durham have had a pit road now. That means Garrett Rainey and the number 17 will become the new leader, but the downside for him, he was in pit road at lap 32. 34 for Michael Dean. This is now starting to be a war of nutrition and a war of just convolution and change here for these guys. So they got a wolf pack just really pounding the throttle and pounding everything they got, trying to get to those race leaders, especially with only about 20 seconds back ahead of them and 9 laps to go. At the same time, they're also racing out their own little race and having themselves a time and a half. Andy Palicki in that 32 dealing with some trouble down there. Justin Underwood, the 90 right now, playing it Keith, playing it safe on the outside line, trying to stay in the brigade and stay in the momentum. These drivers need to stay in that moment and stay under control with each other. They know it's coming closer to the end. Garrett Rainey, Michael Dean, they're going to get behind Dunaway. They're going to try to conserve as much fuel as possible before the end. Rainey literally started on the pole. He is in the race lead with an opportunity to strike it big. Dunaway, maybe their last hope, their last saving grace before it may be too little too late. If I'm the race leader and I'm a driver behind them, I've got to be thinking to myself, how the heck did it come to where a lap car was going to be my saving grace, my last opportunity to possibly win out this one? It's kind of the chaotic world of motorsports for you, and it's definitely a bit of a mess and a hassle when it's to say the least here for everyone involved. With 7 laps left to go, we are nearing it all. This season opener, though, has definitely played most of some wild moments of some chaotic little tidbits and situations in between. Now we're just looking for a finish, and we're looking for an ending to it all. Top 3 will be interviewed after this race fans, so do not leave out of the gate. Stick around with us for just a little bit if you want to hear the driver chat with us here in the top 3 if they can finish it. You know, if I was Zittel right now, though, I'd probably be thinking, why are these guys not drafting behind me to try to get up there quicker to the guys up front? They're literally slowing down, and they're off pace. We might have a chance to get them. Instead, they're dealing with pressure from the outside. They're dealing with pressure from everywhere else. If I was them, I'd be a little bit mad, upset. I'm not getting any help there. And Dunaway is actually being a bit of a hand there to Rainey and Dean. John Kay kind of going in between them. Everybody is in that draft. And Dunaway, though, I'm not sure if he's having troubles with the truck staying centered and straight or what's going on, but that rear end, you can see is kicking out underneath him. He's having troubles keeping it straight and keeping it online. But the good news for him is he'll have a charge and a pack of drivers right behind him as we now approach the final 5 laps to go. High five in the air. And the spotters right now are just talking it over, every little detail, every little thing. The crew chiefs making sure the drivers are aware. They only have a mere 5 laps left. if this was ever a time to pace, if this was ever a time to be like a venomous swiper and strike while the iron is hot, this is a time. Zittel, Ellison, they are a mere 8 seconds back of Nathan Reynolds and them. They might have a chance, but they need to catch the draft before 2 laps to go comes up, because then it could get a bit wild here. The draft is starting to phase out and starting to favor more towards the run. Reynolds and Zittel is literally right in the mix of it. And I think the guys in the back are starting to take full note. Maybe they might be listening in a little bit. They may have heard what we just said. They're now looking to get into the bottom lane draft and use one last push, one last run to get these guys. Reynolds, those guys right now, they are backing off further and further. They are trying, and I mean desperately, just trying to get every ounce of fuel they can out of these trucks. They are so close to the end. They can feel it. They can taste it. They want to keep it going. Do they have enough, though? And much less do they even have enough speed, because now they're in major trouble here. Zittel has caught the back. The leaders are in trouble. Here comes the major pack of hungry drivers. Full fuel, full tires, full send. Give it all she's got. This is literally anyone's for the taking. Reynolds is literally yelling across the room there at Dicey and Breeding, saying, boys, we've got company. And indeed you do, my friend. That is the difference between the leaders and the back behind. The guys up front right now, they better start figuring out something. They better start figuring out something quick. They've only got 2 laps to go. Do they have enough fuel to get to the end, or are they going to have to admit defeat? Oh, Rainey admits defeat. He's going in. K will go into. Dean and Breeding stay up. Wait a minute. A huge wreck ensues right behind him in turn number 4. A huge wreck ensues, and the caution flies out. Oh, look out down there. Back off, boys. Back off. Woo-hoo. Oh my. Tristan Underwood, it looks like Kyle Dumick, and I believe Sam Dunaway were all in, or excuse me, it looks like it was just those 3 and a few other guys were involved in that one. And now a green-white checker, 3 of them are in order. We'll have 1 attempt coming up in a minute, but what happened here on the front straightaway coming off of turn 4? The PTM Racing replay tells all and shows all. It got dicey. Pit stops being made. Whoa. The 90 getting flipped in. Sargent as well getting a piece of it. You see the 50 get into the grassy plains, ups up his own lawn care service. He didn't want anything to do with that. And that was what brought out the caution, unfortunately, in a wild, bad scenario and situation, to say the least. Tristan Underwood cannot be too thrilled knowing that that run, that speed he carried is not enough. But if you're the racers too, like Ryan, like you were there a minute ago, I got a feeling you've got to be absolutely livid right now that you have literally had your entire race run and all that put under wraps and put under the charge. Michael Dean thought he had this one secured, or had a chance to secure it. Now he's going to have to make a huge, bold decision, because the last time he was in pit road with Reynolds, Dicey, and them, they were in at 32 and 34 respectively. I don't think they're going to have enough to get through a green-white checker, much less be able to get to the end of this. They have to pace around the track too. And you can see that it's not happening. They're going to have to go to pit road. Dean, Dicey, and Reynolds are going in. Zittel will have a golden opportunity. And by the way, he started, I'm not going to kid you, in 29th position. There is no one that can touch the hard charger award other than him if he wins this race. Zittel, planned out a strategy, he planned out a spot, and now he's got a great opportunity to cement his name under the lights of Daytona International Speedway with a huge win, and it'll be one of our absolute most hard Charger Award moments we've ever witnessed on PTM Racing TV. The only thing that ever comes close to it is literally when one driver went from the 30th spot to first in 2 laps and won the race. Even though they had qualified 8th on the roster, that is where they had finished. That was, we always said that was their best hard Charger Award moment, but this would literally be from where you positioned to how you finished it out. Zittel is in a unique, and I mean a very unique situation. But there is still some room for guys like Samard, Frazier, Crowell, Bay, Rutherford, Langston, Palicki, Sargent, Ellison to possibly take that away from them. With 3 green-white checkered attempts at their disposal, you know they're going to need to be very optimistic and very keen where they throw themselves into the wire and into the shots here. We are now ready to double file them up, and it looks like Zittel is going to go to the outside. He's chosen to start on the outside. Interesting. He'll have Paul Ellison on the bottom lane, so this is a very, very unique circumstantial spot to be put into, but that is his call. Who is going to be the first driver to win here on PTM Racing TV with the Venom Truck Series in their television debut, and who is going to find themselves under the night lights with a few stars shining bright around their helmets? We're about to find out, race fans. You let me know in the chat. Who do you got? Who's your pick? So I'm hearing some Ashley Frazier. You're going for Let's Go Crazy chant yet again. Dylan is going to have himself his work cut out for him. He's got a chance, though. Everybody 21st on back is in the running, which means Brantley Graney is literally in a chance and opportunistic spot, maybe for one more chance, one more opportunity, but he's going to need a lot of help here. We'll put the top 5 up on your screen, and this one's going to come down to the wire. Pace truck off of turn number 4. Straight to the front stretch. Green flag is out. It's off for the charge. 2 remain. Drivers going up top. Drivers going to the bottom. Momentum swing. Drivers looking for anything they can. Trying to find any little help. Look at this. Andy Palicki on the outside. Getting close to the run. Getting close with them. Trying to get some side draft going here. This is now the 3 wide strips we were talking about earlier. They're coming forth. They're coming quick. The 50 there, Rutherford getting backed off here. He doesn't want anything to do with them. He doesn't want anything to do with any of that mess. Can they get to the white flag? Zittel is being pushed and shoved for all he's got by Ellison. The Razor 53 trying to keep the Tundras at stake here. Ellison as well, right in the mix. Race fans to the finish. We've got white flag high in the air. Last minute chance. Golden opportunities coming up. Who is it going to be coming down to the wire here? Right up top side now. The 21 of Langston looking for the final push. The final dash. He's going to go for all he can here. Trying to get some speed. The 88 way loose though, getting slammed by Frazier a little bit. Into the wall goes Langston, and a big 1 and 2's right behind the leaders. The leaders will run him to the end. It stays green. Ellison and Zittel swinging down turn 3. Look at the outside. Here comes the 88 of David Fay of the UPS F-150. Making for a dash here, freight for the line here. It's anybody's race coming to the end. Zittel, though, for the final stretch, for the final time, can win this one out. And Daytona takes home the victory as they wreck behind him. Oh, my goodness, what a race. An unprecedented hard charger award and set precedent here at Daytona. Has he cemented and set the tone for this season? Oh, I think he has in his mind. Kyle Zittel and the number 53 will put the Razor Toyota Tundra into the victory lane spot today, and a huge position and charge from him and the crew. And Fedora Zittel watching on. Kyle has got his fan base ruined him in the track. The fans are going ballistic here off the front straightaway here. They have witnessed quite the show and the spectacle here. Drivers alike know what they have got at their stake and what they watched as well. What a finish for all drivers involved. But it's crazy to think none of the top two dual winners were even able to walk away with a win here in the big one, or even able to keep this one under wraps here to the end. It would go to a man that charged into the back and into the field of zone for the final leg. Here is your results. Kyle Zittel, your first ever winner here on PTM Racing TV with the Venom Truck Series. And what a display of raw performance by him. 28 spots to the finish. Paul Ellison will go second, and Kevin Sargent with a Sergeant in Arms brings it to third. Fourth will go to David Fay. Fifth to Dylan Frazier. What a showing by him. Lane of the run goes 10th to 5th on the last bit. Nathan Reynolds goes 6th. 7th is going to go to Pascal Simard. Great showing by him there in the 76th. Annie Palicki will go 8th. Then it'll be 9th. That'll be Kyle Dumick. And then finally, Ryan Dicey will finish top 10 to end out his night. And a wild star-studded lineup here as you see the rest of your finishers on the show. We are now ready to chat with your top 3 drivers with the field at hand in this one all but wrapped up. It's time to listen in to your top 3 guys here as they are now about to be disposed here on PTM Racing TV. He comes to us here in the 3rd spot, 7 up tonight, the 09 Ford F-150. Kevin Sargent goes 3rd here, and Kevin, congratulations on a 3rd place finish here, and talk about a wild little finish there to the end. You had certainly pushed your way into that 3rd spot, though.
Yeah, we hit the strategy tonight. I think that's what it all boiled down to. We we short pitted the first time, kind of short pitted the second time, and we were full fuel ready to go at the end there. And it got a little hairy, but it worked out.
It worked out. It came away with what you needed to do here. And, we talk about kind of that strategy and that pacing around. I mean, how hard was it to really make sure that this fuel run and this fuel cell was going to have enough just to even get to the very end of this?
Oh, we planned early. We made our first stop on lap 30, and we made our second on lap 50. We were planning for that late caution there. We, like I said, that strategy just worked out perfect.
It did indeed, and it's going to bring you into the top 3 with the podium. What a performance here for you and your crew. And who do you want to thank you for that?
Oh, I just want to thank my dad racing with me in Raging Moose Racing. I want to thank Broke Guy Racing. We kind of have a partnership with them, and, that goes back quite a long ways, even through multiple leagues here. I just want to give a shout out. I put Stop the Stigma mental health on my truck. I like to run that. Mental health is something I'm pretty big into. So, if you need help, go out there and get it.
Absolutely. Well, definitely raising awareness and raising quite the show for you and the crew. What a performance here. The Sergeant at Arms comes in 3rd. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
The 09, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Sargent will come away here 3rd out of the bunch here. Great showing by him as we now bring in your 2nd place driver today, Paul Ellison, in that 55 Toyota Tundra. And Paul, congratulations on the 2nd place finish. And judging by the way this truck was coming to the line and it was coming to the end, it looked like it was going to give it its money's worth to Zittel, but unfortunately, the laps just kind of ran out, and that front straightaway definitely made the difference, didn't it?
Oh yeah, no, I did exactly what I wanted to do. Zittel is my team owner. I've got to win in this series. He hadn't. I was making sure he got him one.
With this being a bit of a team spot here, I mean, this is obviously the way you want to start off the race season, the race run, but you know, the fact that you've already got one now, he's got one, do you think you two can actually start to really take full control of this season championship in this race run, you think?
I really hope so. We both got good speed. There's a lot of really good drivers in this league, but I really hope this sets a tone, and we can keep it up in the points.
Well, we can say here on the broadcast here, you guys definitely set a tone and really put these boys on the list and on the edge. But nevertheless, as you come away today, second place with your team owner and the guy in front today, who do you want to thank you for this one?
First of all, I got to thank Zittel for putting this team together. I got to thank Corey Rutherford and CJR Graphics for this paint scheme he made. He's nailed it. I just came up with an idea, and he knocked it out of the park. Got to thank Ron Dye for running this league the way he does. And got to thank you for doing this broadcast. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate coming on board here, Paul. Congratulations, man. What a performance for you and your crew.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Ellison comes away second out of the bunch, but the man of the hour, the man truly with all the power in his hands, 28 spots from the outhouse to the White House. Give it to Kyle Zittel. Zittel, I can tell by your reaction right now, you're still kind of letting this one sink in.
Yeah, it's not quite real yet.
Well, just explain this feeling here, because you had to strategize, you had to make the moments here, and, you know, people could say what they want about the caution, but the thing is, your team and that crew was literally mounting a last-minute charge to the boys up front. If anything, if it didn't have that caution and you had to start making some moves, what would have been the key plan there, you think?
When right before the caution came out, we were lined up with Andy Politsky and his guys, with Paul Ellison and my guy, and we could see we were catching them, and we knew they were in fuel saving mode. And right when the caution came out, I told Paul, go high now, and we were gonna take them. And that caution came out, and then boy, you could have heard a pin drop. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and then I saw them come down pit road for the final, to top off, and I knew that we had a really good shot at it.
You certainly did indeed, and at the end of the day, I think that's really all you really need to see and you really need to hear there. So, Zittel, I know this is your first win ever here in this league, it sounds like, and also your first win ever here on PTM Racing TV, of course. So, as you're going to come away the man of the hour and the top gun of it all today, who do you want to thank for this?
I just want to thank all the guys in the league. Seriously, we've held together, we stayed strong, and we're all together. We're one big family, and I do want to thank my mom. She is watching, so that made it even better.
I presume that would be Miss Doris that was talking to us here in the comments.
Yes, sir.
Mama Doris, your boy got it done tonight. Zittel, congratulations, man. Well earned and deserved.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner today, and the man that will take home the glory in the first race ever here on PTM Racing TV with the Venom Truck Series, Kyle Zittel. Race fans, what a day, what a show. And the thing is, it's only the first race of the season. What on earth do we have in store next? We have no idea. You'll just have to tune in with us. But from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, we thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the Venom Truck Series for coming on board here at Daytona and putting on an absolute clinic of a show. We'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies right here on PTM Racing TV.